Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Money Manziel MMA production on this UFC pay-per-view fight week. Guys, I've done the research, I've gotten the lab, I've done the studies, as Lucas Tracy says, the beakers and test tubes have been taken out, they've been utilized in ways you can't even imagine. My word for this card is gospel. I promise you that to whoever's listening. We all will be putting we will all be putting our mortgage onto my picks for these cards. No joke, I actually feel really confident about this. So let's get right into it. First off, Markel Medeiros versus Mark Choinsky. Guys, do not overthink this. Short notice fighters do well this year, but they do not win. These short notice guys haven't won. Even the ones that have been close, like I think Vucenic was a favorite versus Karam Kudrladze. I might be wrong about that, but he didn't win. And Medeiros has more high level competition. You could argue he lost his last fight. I believe it was against Austin Hubbard. I might be wrong, but I think he wins this one. He's been in the UFC. He actually is younger, which is kind of surprising, but Medeiros wins this one. I'm taking Markel Medeiros by decision over Mark Choinsky. Lock that in. Do not overthink this first fight. Quickly, we will move on to more name value fights. Killing Salkild versus Yanal Ashmouz. Guys, it's a tricky one because you want to believe that, Salkild's going to walk right through Yanal Ashmouz like he did Anshul Jubilee. But even in that sentence, Anshul Jubilee is Anshul Jubilee. Like, there's no easier person to walk through than a guy who was knocked out after being barked at for 3 minutes straight. So Salkid is not going to have an easy time with Ashmouz. Ashmouz is very legit. I watched back his fight with Trevor Peek. Super impressive. Although the rounds were close and he was getting clipped. My guess is that Salkid drops one of these 3 rounds. Probably not the second, but either the first or the third Salkid is going to drop. I feel like because he did gas in his Contender Series fight, regardless of the output and the pace, that was crazy. And Ashmouz has a great tank. I do think that Salkid is just a little bit taller. He's rangier. He has good grappling defense. I think that he's going to be able to get 2 out of these 3 rounds for sure. I kind of sound like Henry Sudo. Hey, dude, I think that if he wins 2 out of the 3 rounds, he's going to win the fight, dude. But I do think that, Ashmouz is just not good enough to beat Killing Salkid. I do think someone's going to beat Salkid soon, though. I don't think that this is some title run that we're witnessing. But either way, Salkid by decision. That'll be 2 decisions to start the card. Next up, Jekka Seregi versus Ju Sang Yo. This one is a banger. I don't know why the UFC isn't promoting this as like an early prelim banger. Like if you don't know now, you know type of fight. Seregi is dumb. Like he's a stupid guy. He if gets finished or finishes every single one of his fights. He is a loss to Anshul Jubilee and Weston Wilson by finish, but he also had a crazy comeback KO. It's basically the only reason he's in the UFC. Versus Ju Sang Yu, who I didn't know he was 31, actually. That's older than I thought. But he's like a Korean Conor McGregor. You'll see when he fights, he like taunts people. The way he stands is very similar. He's super powerful, solid wrestler. The issue is his striking defense, if I had to point out a weakness with him, and not great finishing instinct either. I do believe that he's going to knock out Jekka Seregi, though, because I like to wager that Ju Sang Yu is better than Weston Wilson and Anshul Jubilee. And if that's the case and they both finished him, then MMA math, I'm going to say he knocks out Seregi. So I bet our first finish of the night comes in Yu versus Seregi. Yu gets the knockout. I'm going to say round 2 after a pretty competitive first round. Next up, final fight on the early prelims. Again, one that you can't overthink. Wang Kong is better everywhere than Ariana De Silva. I know she lost the fight before her last one, but she dominated that fight until she got clipped. And she's just an actual fighter. Like, she's just better than most of these unranked or barely ranked girls that she's going to fight. That's the reality of it. That she is just straight up better than these girls in the striking and the grappling. And I think here she's going to win a really clear decision, would be my guess. Is Wang Kong wins a super clear decision, and De Silva maybe has a moment or two where she, I don't know, like pulls guard or like Lands a big right, but Wang Kong kind of shakes it off, maybe laughs, hits a little emo. But I think Wang Kong gets a decision also. So one finish to start the card. That's not great on the early prelims, but let's keep it moving to some fights with a lot of finishing potential. Chaos Williams versus Andreas Gustafsson. This is a really hard one to predict. It's actually one that I've gone back and forth on a little bit. Chaos should beat Andreas Gustafsson. You know, Chaos is good for a flatline KO. Guys that run into range, he typically is a pretty easy time with. But watching the Bonfim fight, all it took was a jab and a little bit of grappling to really throw Chaos off. I do like that he's getting back in here so quick. I think he recognizes that, I'm 31. I need to bounce back from this. So I like the mindset. Gustafsson does have the style to make this a really intriguing fight, though. If I had to guess, I think Chaos wins a split decision or a very razor thin decision here. Andreas bloodies guys up. He's got nasty elbows in the clinch. A lot of what he does is in the clinch, and if that's the case, he's going to get booed. So I think that's going to impact him negatively on the scorecards, in my opinion. So whenever Chaos lands, it'll be like a big, like, wow, he landed something huge moment. And I think Chaos will steal the rounds because of it. So I'm going to take Chaos Williams by decision, actually, here, not by KO. But it's worth looking into whether you think Andreas Gustafsson can just hold him down for a while. Next up, Sergey Spivak. It's a great fighter. I want to fight him. Versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. On the drive over to my little secret location where I record these videos, I was going back and forth about this one. Part of me wants to pick Waldo Cortez Acosta, but for me, you have to show that you can make Sergey Spivak quit. You know? I don't think that Cortez Acosta has ever come against a grappler with the caliber that Spivak is. And I also don't think he can do enough to Spivak on the feet to make him think, oh shit, I need to shoot a panic takedown, which then makes him quit when he can't get it. You know? So I think that Spivak's going to finish Cortez Acosta. I think it could be nasty ground and pound. It could be an arm triangle or a submission. I'm just going to say Spivak by finish, and I'm going to say in the second round he's going to get that. I think in the first round, Cortez Acosta going to do his thing on the feet. Spivak gets a takedown final minute or two of the round and realizes that he can get him down. And when he realizes that, it's going to be a long night for Cortez Acosta. Or a short night if he gets finished. So I'll take Spivak by finish in the second round there. Next up, a master class is incoming. Azamat Murzakanov. Kid, let me tell you about Azamat Murzakanov. The Russian the Russian Yair Rodriguez, as we call him. Murzakanov is going to put on a clinic versus Brenson Ibero. When you look at Azamat Murzakanov, fat, steroid cheat, old, fat, short, but we love him though. We love him though. We love him. But he's gonna win this fight. He's got nasty power, nasty kicks, nasty punching. He can grapple if he needs to, but he doesn't usually. Ribero's got a bad chin. I think that's all that matters in this fight is Ribero's a way worse chin than Azamat Murzakanov. So we'll take Murzakanov round 1 KO. On to the final fight of the prelims. I'm taking Josh Van by decision. I'm not overthinking this. I know there are hardcore people that are like, oh, I don't know, man. Bruno Silva, he landed an uppercut on Cody Durden. He might KO him. In all likelihood, Josh Van is going to win a 30-27 decision. He doesn't have a lot of power, but he can break you down, and I think he can break down Silva to the body. That's kind of what Manel Kopp did, although I poked him a bunch too, so maybe Josh Van should do that. But I do believe that Josh Van is just better everywhere than Bruno Silva, so I'll take Josh Van 3-0 in this fight, and his title run continues. On to the pay-per-view main card. Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. I've been back and forth on this. I'm going to take Vicente Luque here at plus 230. I think it's a crazy line, and it is kind of biasing me a little bit with this fight, but at the same time, I just don't love a very close decision with Gunnar Nelson in 2025. I'm glad that he's confident and he's kind of back on the wagon at 170, Kevin Holland. But Luque knows how to win a close fight. He knows how to get inside the pocket and do damage. Um, I just think that he's going to make it really tough on Kevin Holland, and Holland tends to wilt when it's tough. So I'll take Vicente Luque round 2 Darce choke or Anaconda. One of the two. That's my guess. That was a hardcore pick by me. Next up, Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix. Mario Bautista is a terrorist to the sport. I hope that horrifying things happen to Mario Bautista in this fight. Execute this man. Um, we are all waiting for him to get slept out cold. I don't think Patchy Mix is going to do it. I think that the Bellator curse is running strong as of late, and I just think that Mario Bautista is going to piss off a lot of people and ruin some parlays with people who think that Patchy Mix is going to submit him. It's not the Mario Bautista that fought Corey Sandhagen. It's not the one that fought Trevin Jones, which is a crazy thing to say. Bautista's going to win a decision, and he's going to get scrappy with him, I think, on the feet, unlike what he did with Jose Aldo. I think Bautista wins a 29-28 clear, might get a 30-27 on one card. Patchy Mix, tough, On to the featured fight of this main card. It's actually a fun one, man. I don't know why people are complaining about this. Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer's going to flatline Kelvin Gastelum. If Gastelum even makes 185, which is a big question, I haven't even seen this dude this week, so God knows if he's able to make the weight. But he looks like a... Kelvin Gastelum kind of looks like Mexican Barney a little bit. Barney had like that skinny fat kind of build where he didn't really have a lot of muscle. He was just kind of a purple guy, if you get what I'm saying. I think Kelvin Gastelum looks like the Mexican Barney. He's eating too much, living too high on the hog. Joe Pyfer sleeps him. No body cam. Joe Pyfer sleeps him. Doesn't say a word to his department and goes on with his run back to the top 15. Next up, Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. I can't believe this line is widening. It doesn't make any sense to me. Kayla Harrison barely beat Ketlin Vieira, guys. Now, I know that Juliana Pena is awful, and yes, everyone is probably overthinking this fight right now. But Juliana Pena shows that she still tries to win in the later rounds, even if she's dog shit, even if she's terrible at fighting, So I think that Harrison is going to win early. She either trips her, like judo throw, submits her, TKOs her in the round 1, and we're like, wow, what a win for Kayla Harrison. The future's here. Or Juliana Pena finishes her late or wins a split decision. I'm going with Juliana Pena wins like a majority decision. There's probably like a 10-8 to Harrison in the first round or something. And then Pena gets the final 4 rounds or something. I don't know. But I'm going Pena by decision. On to the main event. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, guys. I really think that this fight is going to be virtually identical to the first one. But I bet it's a split decision this time. I bet that Sean O'Malley... I bet that this time he even rocks Merab. I could see that happening, where Sean O'Malley rocks Merab, lands a knee or an uppercut or something, and it's enough to kind of ooh and ah, but then it's the one big moment of the fight before Merab knees his thigh and fails takedowns the entire time. Merab has built a GOAT legacy off of failing takedowns on elite fighters and just having better cardio than them. It's insane that guys like Dominic Cruz did the exact same thing with no finishing ability. There's a couple other guys, like Tony Ferguson really was, but he was damaging. He actually tried. I think Merab wins a 48-47 split decision. I'm not overthinking it. Sean O'Malley, quitting gooning is not going to work for this kid. Open that X videos champ. That'll do it for today's video, guys. Obviously, my word is gospel with this kind of stuff, so trust me. I feel like I'm correct about this. I'm excited for the press conference later today. Hopefully you guys are too, because I just want to see what Merab says, to be honest with you, for 20 minutes while Sean O'Malley's trying to be nonchalant in the corner. If you're coming from TikTok, I appreciate you. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please comment saying you came from TikTok. If you're from a YouTube short related to this, subscribe, like, comment, same thing. And if you're just watching to watch, I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow for my best bets.